It doesn't matter how much bigger you are, he's ready. It doesn't matter what team you play for, he's always prepared. These are the statements that sum up who Missouri's star wide receiver Luther Burden is. Coming off a less than stellar 2024, the assumption is that he has had a fall off. But in reality, this was just another challenging year to compare his stature to his production. In this video, we will break down Luther Burden and also destroy some misconceptions about a player who we believe is still one of the best in this class. On a slider scale similar to what you see on the Madden football games, we will rank 3 skill sets that are important to this player's position based on a 100-point scale. At the end of this video, you will have a comprehensive outlook on this player without having to know everything about the X's and O's, while getting the knowledge that will make you feel like an NFL scout. This is Sliders. Luther Burden did not play in what we would consider a football state like Georgia, Florida, or Texas, but played his high school ball in East St. Louis Senior High School in Illinois. What is impressive is he was a 5-star recruit with holding accolades of being the #1 player in Illinois, the number 14 player in the country behind the likes of Travis Hunter and Drew Aller, and the number 2 wide receiver in the country behind former Texas A&M and current Oregon wide receiver Evan Stewart. Luther did receive impressive offers from schools like Texas A&M, Florida State, Ohio State, and originally he committed to the Oklahoma Sooners. He would later decommit and would officially become a Missouri Tiger. In his career with Mizzou, he had 192 catches, 2,263 yards, and 26 touchdowns in only 3 seasons. What's impressive about Luther is he managed to have a touchdown every 7 catches on average for his career. He also leads the nation in forced missed tackles with 30. With only being 5'11" and 208 pounds, he's had an impressive career for a school like Mizzou, who are never known as world beaters. So let's get into why he's still in the draft and why he's a first-round type of talent. There's a lot of great things that you could say about Luther Burden and his catching ability. Some of the strongest hands in college football, as far as I'm going to go up there and I'm going to snatch the ball out the air. I'm going to spin around and make a catch. I'm going to do the dirty work underneath to make sure that I get the pass and I make a couple guys miss. That's what you're going to get from him. You know, sometimes he can drop one of the easy ones, and, you know, Brady Cook didn't do him any favors on some of the plays that he was thrown to. But as far as his catching ability, one of the best in the country overall, and we gave him a 35 out of 40 possible points. It's nothing to scoff at. Some of the inconsistencies, I feel like that can be fixed, but when the moment is really, really big, he always shows up and he's able to put points on the board by how he can go up there and just snatch the ball and how strong his hands are in general. So let's get down into film and break down why Luther Burden is so good at catching and see some of the amazing catches that he can make in his career. All right, so one of the things that a lot of people don't have a appreciation of is being able to catch through traffic. As you're going to see here, Luther Burden's going to go, and you know, his route running could have been a lot better here. I understand that, but he's going to go. The defender's going to actually have almost, if not a hand on the ball. He still puts his hands up ready for the catch as if he wasn't able to catch it. Now, acquiring a skill set like this does take a lot of practice. You practice this a ton, you know, away from the game. But let's watch it here a little bit slowed up. Looks like the defender did get a hand on the ball, so it was actually deflected as well. But keeping an eye on the ball, making sure that in case there was a mistake, he was able to catch the pass. And we would consider that to be a positive in the catching categories, being able to catch through traffic and in a window that's not as clear as what you're used to seeing by other quarterbacks. Here's another play, again, doing the small things really well. Catching a 5-yard out here. Gonna get 5 yards, get out. Watch the body control from Luther Burden, making sure he's able to go up and snag the catch and bring it back towards his body. Again, another skill set that even the best receivers have, or you know, the receivers that are good, they even have this skill, but the best receivers have exactly what we call body control and keeping your eye on the ball the full way and bringing the ball in as well. So when he goes up for the catch, notices how he brings the ball immediately to his body and gets it shifted towards the sideline view. Again, the sideline. Just in case that this was a fumble, the ball goes outside. So being smart enough not only to grab the pass, but being able to bring it towards his body in a quick fashion, get you brownie points all day from us. All right, so you're probably thinking, give me an exciting play from Luther Burden, and let's go ahead and do that. So against Texas Tech, he goes up and actually grabs this pass. Get it down here. So he's down at the bottom of your screen, one-on-one matchup in man coverage. He's going to go up, and a back shoulder fade. Goes up and grabs his ball, hands in the air, plays way taller than he actually is. Brady Cook throws a really good pass, something that we didn't see from him a lot during the 2024 season. But being able to twist your body up, keep your hands and eyes on the ball. And he's always trying to turn upfield as well. Again, leading in total missed tackles. If he wasn't on the ground, if this is NFL rules, he would have got up and possibly ran for a touchdown here. So when you talk about the body control, and I believe this was the first play of the game from Texas A&M. So yeah, this is the first play of the game to open out the gate with a great catch like this. Always reliable hands, always in a spot of the defense where he knows he can take advantage despite his small stature as far as height. You can't have a great receiver without great route running, and that's just right above the greatness line is where you would put Luther Burden. I think sometimes he has the ability to take off some plays as far as his route running is concerned, and I'm trying to figure out personally if that's something that was asked for the play or if that was something that he really, is struggling with. But overall, when he's on his game, he does a lot of stunting and faking one way, going the other, and making guys miss. And obviously on his route running, what we want to consider under that is the way that he gets separation from a receiver, which is great. I think he has like that sneaky speed, and I just wish he was more speedy all the time. But as far as the route running portion of this is concerned, we gave him a 32 out of 40 possible points. And like I said, just as important as catching, that's why we gave both of them 40 points. They have to play off of each other. You have to get at least a pretty good separation to be able to get the yards after catch like he excels at, obviously. And you don't have to be the speediest guy, but you have to be creative. And his creativity on route running is really what puts him over the top. So let's get into the film itself and see how creative that he is on his route running and why he's so fun to watch. Now, if you love receivers that can almost pull what a defensive line does, is like a stunt, what you're going to see here is the route. He's going to get up. This guy's in zone coverage, and he's going to point his body at a diagonal way to fake like he's going to take inside leverage, and he's going to cut outside. Watch his footwork. Watch how smooth it was. Foot in the dirt. Allows his outside receiver to get inside to confuse the two receivers, and almost stays horizontal on the route, makes a guy miss. And all of this is considered route running in a bunch. Let's watch it again here. Gonna get the inside release, turn it outside. I know you can't see most of it. Turns upfield, gets the touchdown. So let's watch it one more time from this angle. Again, makes the inside release, going up. And watch his body language here. Body language says he's going inside, gets that guy to step back. Takes the pass horizontal, makes the guy miss. Beautiful route running and beautiful touchdown altogether. This was not supposed to be a touchdown, and with his skill set, this type of stuff that happens with Luther Burden. All right, this wasn't a catchable ball by any means. And I guess in some aspects you can't say that the corner got him, but he's going to take another inside release here, running almost the same type of route, going to get his feet in the dirt. And by all accounts, Luther Burden would have beat this guy here. As soon as this happened, and you could see kind of the body language from the corner, If you got this guy looking the opposite direction of the way that you're turning on the route when you put that foot in the dirt, he would have had a lot of open space out here to do a lot of damage, right? I mean, he's obviously staying horizontal on the route, and the corner actually grabs him on this play. So if the ball was coming to him, you could possibly say this is either a holding or pass interference call. Good stuff by Luther Burden, clean route. And I wonder what it would have been like if the ball was coming his way. All right, so we're going to get in the type of 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗶𝗲𝗀𝗀 type of play here, and his name's going to get brought up here a little later. Another good play against Texas A&M. Going to take the outside release because he's running a wheel route. And notice how he doesn't get thrown off balance here, even by the chip. He kind of gets chipped on the outside, forced on the outside, and still keeps on his route. Moving forward. I guess the defender thought that he was going to either have a safety over top or that he was going to be able to throw him that much off guard, and bam, you get a touchdown, you know, in the first quarter after a really good play from what we saw in the catching category. Gets up, makes the catch, and nobody's beating him in open space. And this is the type of stuff when you look at even the kick return version of Luther Burden, you see how much he can get speed underneath him and get a touchdown. So, you know, not a route that you're gonna say this was amazing, but more so the contact balance on the route here. Again, gets chipped and stays on route, doesn't get outside. Not what the defender was expecting. All right, so let's get into what Luther Burden's best part of his game is, and he was damn near perfect on this score, and that's athleticism. Athleticism, we gave 20 possible points. We gave him 19 out of 20 possible points. You're not going to find a more athletic freak when it comes to the wide receiver position than Luther Burden, and I think this stat and this trait solely is going to propel him throughout the combine, throughout the rest of these workouts before the draft, into being what is considered a bona fide first overall pick to a team like the Steelers that I think are going to fall in love with what he does athletic wise. Look, no matter what the size and the weight says, the guy can go up there and snatch the ball. He can make guys miss at a turn of a dime, and that's his most important attribute, is not only staying upright and having great contact balance, but having to catch a ball that was out of position and to get upfield and make a couple guys miss or fit within the smallest areas. We've seen it on a couple plays already on how he can do that. So 19 out of 20 possible points for Luther Burden here. Like I said, this could have been a 20 if just his route running and things like that were a little bit cleaner, because I do consider that being part of athleticism in some aspects. But outside of that, man, I really have no complaints. I just hope he turns it up to, you know, a new level when he gets to the NFL and keeps this trait continuously. He's improving on it throughout his career in the league, and to see how his career is going to blossom if this is his base to being a great wide receiver in the future. There's really nobody more athletic than Luther Burden in the country. Again, has small stature, but stays in there and tries to get a block on his guy. Always see, he tried to keep a hand on him as long as possible. This is what you want out of your wide receiver. As long as you can shore him up and off the route to spring their wide receiver forward. I mean, Nate Noel is going to have the speed to get in open space and obviously almost get a first down on this play if a couple things would have went his way. But this definitely wasn't bad from Luther Burden's standpoint as far as run blocking from the wide receiver position. This is all that you can ask for. Comes up, puts his shoulder into a guy, spins around, keeps him off balance. And number 5 had a tough time navigating where Nate Noel was, not until the last moment, because of Luther Burden on the block. Again, Luther Burden's one of the best at getting that route to fake that inside release. Gonna get the outside release here. Turns up the jets, keeps his eye on the ball. And what you guys don't see from this angle, this was actually a one-handed catch from Luther Burden here on the Gamecocks. Let's watch it from this angle. Brady Cook's gonna send the tight end in motion. And this is one of the better defenses in the country. Nico Manwari is showing pressure there. As Brady Cook drops back, he throws it up. And as you see, this was a one-handed catch. This honestly could have been called pass interference in a lot of aspects because of the way that my man 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗲𝗀 was keeping a hand on him the whole time. Look at his arm. But they let him play, able to do an inside move. When we talk about athleticism, obviously Luther Burden is getting away from tackles and coverage like this all over the field. All right, here against Texas A&M, Luther Burden's gonna be sending motion, take the 5-yard out, makes one guy miss, makes another guy miss, and gets the first down. If there's an epitome of athleticism for a wide receiver, it's this. Being very creative in the way that he is getting outside and inside on guys. Here, look at his right leg fully extended. There's no way that this guy should have made him miss. Again, led the nation in missed tackles. Bam, makes the second guy miss and understands that I got to get a first down. An incredible play, an incredible show of athleticism and how creative that he can be even at run after the catch. Really good stuff from Luther Burden. All right, well, as you see, Luther Burden is as solid as they come. And for a lot of people to downgrade him because of his size, I think he plays, and what you've seen, he plays way beyond that. And why a lot of teams over the last couple of years have been super infatuated with how the progression of Luther Burden actually is. And if he was on another team, let's say if he would have committed to Oklahoma full time, what would have that looked like? Or, you know, he had offers from obviously Ohio State University and Florida State. How would that have been good for his career? But guess the world will never know. He wanted to stay close to home, and he did the best that he could at Missouri. And now we're looking at the NFL draft saying, wow, he's one of the top receivers, and that's for good reason. So, but you know, we talked about some of the good, and we can't finish this out without talking about some of the bad. I mean, I hope that he utilizes his athleticism more, because he tries to play bigger than he is, which can get him into some trouble. As you see, you know, having the mentality of like, I can be bigger than what my size says I am is a great mentality to have, but sometimes a chip on your shoulder can get you injured at the next level too. So let's utilize his athleticism, not get hit so much. And I think he can turn that negative into a positive. Of course, the blocking and inconsistency there, you know, it's apparent, it's on film, but when he's good at it, he does his job to the best of his abilities. But I think getting with somebody and understanding the technique of that can really propel him to the next level and things. And obviously, I want him to run his routes at full speed. This would have took him to that 35 or 36 ranking, and we could have possibly been in the 90s. I think that this stat, you know, is the one thing that kept him from being in the 90s overall, is because his route running just was not as consistent as other people in this class. And I hope he utilizes his speed and understand you can be speedy on your routes. You don't have to be so hesitant in running these, or being so creative that it shows, you know, shores up your speed, you know, a little more than you want it to. So those are just some of the bads. As far as his final score, if you didn't already tally it up yourself, 86 out of 100, solid B+ grading right here. And this is nothing to scoff at for Luther Burden. He can be an A receiver. What we're saying is that obviously there are some deficiencies, not on his talent, but having your motor go full time. If he can build up a little bit more of size on him, he could become a better blocker. Maybe call up Hines Ward, because I honestly think he's going to go from one black and gold to the next black and gold, which is the Steelers. I still think that is the best spot for somebody like Luther Burden. And when people look at this score, we have to evaluate what's there on the field, and just the what if factor comes into play all the time. We know that it's subpar year, you know, from 2024, but obviously Brady Cook wasn't at his best either. So as far as his pro comps are concerned, you know, we always like to give two players. You're going to look at this and it's going to make a lot of sense. I know that the Deebo Samuel comparisons are out there, but to me, Cooper Kupp, the way he can go up there and be creative, not the best route runner, but can run hard on routes after the catch, especially can go up there and snatch whatever, is a very good hands catcher, is what reminds me of Cooper Kupp. But on the Zay Flowers side, just some of the way he has that sneaky speed, but also has great contact balance and can be very creative after the catch. And if you mesh both of these guys together, I think that this is what Luther Burden is at his core, is the gutsiness of Cooper Kupp and not being the best at everything, but having such a good skill set as far as athleticism is concerned, that he can be that Zay Flowers type for your team. And the combination of both of these guys can be dangerous for a team at the next level. Well, guys, this has been another wrap for this. You know, sliders is one of my favorite series to do, and we're gonna keep pushing these ones out. I did a poll. Make sure you guys go vote on the poll who you'd like to see next there. But as far as this one is concerned, Luther Burden is going to be an absolute steal for anybody, despite his score here. And a lot of things that we mentioned, he can definitely work on at the next level. And it takes one team to humble you real fast and for you to have that chip on your shoulder like 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀 did a couple years ago. So with that being said, guys, this has been Dante with East Coast Gridiron. Thank you for checking out sliders, and let me know in the comment section who you would like to see below. We're going to keep these things rolling out, and I appreciate everybody, and everybody have a great week coming up, and welcome to draft season. We are here, baby.